Hi, it's Dr. Lyon. We're going to make yogurt. So, I'm going to show you my special recipe to make perfect yogurt every time. First thing, you need 2 cups of skim milk powder. Put that in your pot. Alright. And you're going to take 2 liters of milk. In this case I'm using 2%. You can use skim if you want. That's not so great tasting. You can use whole milk if you want the extra calories. It's up to you. Count the calories. So I'm going to pour my 2 liters of milk in my pot. There we go. And you stir it really well, and at the same time turn it on high heat. Here we are. There we go. High heat. Stir it really well to get that milk all dissolved. Now take your milk thermometer and make sure it goes down deep into the pot, but that it's not too close to the bottom or you'll get an unusually high reading. And if it's not too deep, you'll get an unusually low reading. So get it kind of down in the middle of the milk. And just prepare to stand around for a few minutes and stir, because when it's on high heat, it'll come up to temperature pretty quick, but if you don't stir it, you'll get a icky scum on the bottom and you could burn your milk. So stand by. Okay, so you don't have to stir it constantly, but you have to stir it at least, I'd say about every minute or so. Give it a few good stirs. And again, the idea is you don't want the milk at the very bottom to get too hot, otherwise it could burn and you'll get a really hard to clean pot if nothing else. Keep an eye on your thermometer. It's going to get up to 180 degrees. That's the magic number. You want it to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. And the evidence of that will be that the milk will start to really steam at the very end. Just before it hits that boiling point, the milk steams, kills any remaining bacteria. It gives you a nice fresh start with a clean batch of milk. Okay, so my milk is up to temperature now, 180 degrees Fahrenheit or 82 degrees centigrade. On this thermometer, on the outside is centigrade, on the inside is Fahrenheit. So 180 degrees Fahrenheit, turn off the heat, and you should see the steam starting to rise from the milk. Okay, now that it's up to temperature, you have 2 choices. When the heat's off, you can either just leave it sit on the stove and come back periodically and check it. You have to let the milk cool now until it's well into the green zone on the thermometer, which is about 112 degrees Fahrenheit or about 40 degrees centigrade. But just look for the green, about a couple millimeter thick line on the thermometer. You want the temperature to be well into that, maybe even at the very low end of it. Now, if you're in a bit of a rush, say you're doing this before you go off to work and you can't wait for, say, half hour or 45 minutes for it to cool down, I'll show you a secret. Okay, I told you I was going to show you a secret. So to get the milk to cool down a lot quicker, here's my secret. You are going to bring your milk over to the sink, and I have filled the sink several inches deep with cold water. I'm going to take my hot milk and I'm going to carefully place it into the cold water. Now, don't let the water get into the milk, not even one drop, or you'll contaminate your milk. So you're very careful not to let anything drip, and you're going to set it down into that cold water, and you're going to stir while it's in the cold water of the sink, and that temperature will come down really quickly. I'm talking like 3 minutes, and your milk will be at the right temperature. Okay, so it's been in the sink for a few minutes here, and I've been stirring, and it's entering the green zone. So we're getting ready to take our milk out. Okay, now that it's in the green zone, I'm going to carefully lift my pot out of the sink. I'm going to put it onto a clean towel and just dry the pot off so that there's no drips get into my yogurt container when I go to make the yogurt. Okay, now I'm going to show you the next step. First, you have to pick a yogurt starter culture. The company that makes the electric yogurt maker, the Yogurme, is also a company that makes yogurt cultures. I think they actually make them for dairy companies to make yogurt commercially. In any case, they have 3 versions of their yogurt culture. They have one that's called a kefir. That's meant to make a yogurt drink. I'm not that fond of it. I don't really make it that much, but you might love it. There's another one that is your basic yogurt starter. This probably is the best tasting yogurt out of the 3, but it's not a probiotic. It's just a basic Lactobacillus bulgaricus or something. It's one of the common yogurt cultures. I tend to prefer to use the one that's actually an actual probiotic. It means that it's something that is designed to grow in the human gut and to replenish the bacteria in the gut. This one is Lactobacillus casei, a bifidobacteria, and a Lactobacillus acidophilus that are all 3 probiotics. So if you're going to use these starters, which is a good thing to do when you're first getting started with your yogurt making, it's easy to make with these. I would tend to pick the probiotic one, simply because it's the best for you. Now, once you get to be yogurt pros, you may want to start experimenting with actual probiotics. So here's a probiotic that's called the Probiotic Pro 12 Advanced Multi-Strain Formula, 12 billion active cells per capsule. Anyway, this is made by a company that sells directly to doctors, naturopaths, that sort of thing, I guess, in clinics where they sell supplements. In any case, it has 12 different probiotics that are in this. Another one, which is my very, very favorite of all the yogurts I've ever made, is a probiotic from Japan called BB536. It's a Bifidobacterium longum that is a specific strain. It's from Japan, and it's a very highly researched probiotic. This is probably the best tasting yogurt that I've ever made, and it's also probably the most effective probiotic ever. Now, the thing that's, I guess, a bit of caution is that this is not a beginner's yogurt. So I would wait until you get really good at the yogurt, and then you can make it with this. This one requires very particular temperatures. You have to be a little bit below the green zone to start it, and you don't want to incubate it too warm. So there's a few little tricks you do to grow this probiotic yogurt. So for today, we're going to use the Yogurme starter. And when you get started, it's also a good idea to use 2 packages. Once you get good at it, you can get by with just one. But today we're going to use 2 packages. So what we'll do is we'll have a clean yogurt container. This you've cleaned really well, and then I would recommend rinsing it with boiling water before you do it, just to make sure it's all real clean. And then you cut the top of the yogurt starter, and this is a powder, so you just empty it into the bottom of the yogurt container. And the first thing I would do is I would take a little bit of my milk, and again verify that it's in the green, or even a tiny bit at the very bottom of the green, which it is right now. You then put a little bit of milk in there, just maybe half a cup, and you take your utensil you've been using to stir all along. And I should have mentioned that this I cleaned really well and rinsed with boiling water before I started. So this has been kept really clean. And I'm going to take it, I'm going to stir my yogurt starter in the bottom until it's nicely dissolved, so it's not lumpy or anything. Once you can see that all the lumps are gone from that, then you can pour in the rest of the milk. Okay, just pour in the rest of the milk till it's all gone. This will hold just a little bit more than 2 liters. So as you can see, my 2 liters of milk and my 2 cups of milk powder nicely fit inside that container. Then you just give it a few good stirs, like that, and put the cap on it. Now these you could press down real hard till you hear a click, or I just give it one quick like that. And then you should be able to lift it up. It seals really good. Then you take your yogurt maker, and I've already put lukewarm water in the bottom of this until it's up to the tallest line. There's 2 little lines at the bottom. You want to fill the water lukewarm until it's up to the top line. That's your water bath, and this goes now inside the water bath. There we go. Put the lid on, and then you plug it in, and I will have yogurt for breakfast. Awesome. So just a couple of closing comments. First of all, I would highly recommend you consider getting one of these electric yogurt makers because basically I've been doing this all my life since I was about 16, and I've tried everything under the sun making yogurt. And when I came across this at one of these health food shows a few years ago and started using it, I realized this is definitely the best yogurt maker ever, as far as I know. And it keeps the yogurt at such a constant temperature. It makes such a good amount that it basically is, there's just nothing quite like it. You don't have to make the whole batch. If you don't want to make 2 liters, just make half as much in the same size container. Still have to use that same container, but just use half as much. The other thing is, how much time do you leave it in here? That's another big question. Me, I like the yogurt a little bit more sour. And if you're a person that has lactose intolerance, you probably also want to leave it in a little longer. I like to leave mine like basically overnight. It's about 8:30 p.m. now. I'll probably take this out in the morning and put it in the fridge at maybe about 7, 8 in the morning, so maybe 12 hours. The instructions in the yogurt maker, first of all, I'll say toss them out. I don't know who wrote those, but they don't make yogurt, I don't think, because it doesn't work out. So I would follow exactly the way I told you in terms of the temperatures and the different ingredients. You're going to have great results every time. You have to decide how sour you want it to be. If you want a very mild yogurt, then you probably want to have it incubate a little less time, maybe 6 hours or 8 hours. You'll have to do a little bit of experimentation. In any case, even if it is a bit more tart, this is the most delicious yogurt you will ever have, bar none. The next time if you get used to this, and the next time you eat a plain yogurt from the store, you'll probably want to spit it out. There's no comparison. This is so much better. If you get to the point where you're making it out of the bifidobacteria BB536, now that is not sour no matter how long you leave it. In fact, you have to leave that one 12 hours for it to get solid. So, if you like a more mild flavored yogurt, you want to get good at this and then get to the point where you can make your own probiotic yogurt. But you'll probably find if you start with these very basic steps and you follow them precisely, that you're going to have perfect yogurt every time, and you will love yogurt. You'll love plain yogurt. You won't have to be putting crap in your yogurt to make it taste good. You can add things, like I love to put frozen blueberries in my yogurt and eat that. That's, in fact, when we're done, I have some waiting for me. I'm going to watch a show with my wife and eat my blueberry yogurt. So there's things you can do with it that make it delicious, but you'll see that you'll develop a taste for plain yogurt that you never can develop with that stuff from the store. This is so much better. So, happy yogurt making. Good morning, everyone. Cheers. So, let's see if we have yogurt. It's been in the incubator all night long. It's nice and warm. Just lift off the lid. Now, hopefully you clicked on the top really well, because you should be able to just reach and grab it like that. If you didn't put your lid on, you're going to have a bit of a mess. Anyway, lift that out, and then we're going to have a good look at it. Open it up. Ooh, beautiful. So what you should see is solid yogurt. And what I do very first, I have a spoon that I've rinsed with boiling water, and this little container, kind of a Tupperware thing, that can hold Probably about a quarter cup. Anyway, what I do before I do anything else, is I take 4 heaping, like really heaping tablespoons of the yogurt away from this container when it's really, really perfect. Just fill it up. There we go. And put this in the fridge. This is my starter for next time. So I don't have to keep using those expensive starters in the packages or probiotics. I can just scoop off a little bit and save that for next time. This is now going to stay perfect without contamination. Just have 1 spoon. Beautiful. And then put my lid on. Again, I like to just kind of give it a smack. So I can lift it up like that. Put it in my fridge. It's kind of like Jell-O. It's the best yogurt when it's cooled right down and it really thickens. There you go, yogurt. Oh, and I did not steal the house goat from the Hilton. I bought it. It was like over $100. So don't worry about it.